But next up, Bruce Perky is all about the Blackwater Lane with Minka Kelly, Dermot Mulroney, and Maggie Grace. Bruce Perky, these are your type of movies. What did you think of Blackwater Lane? Give us your review.
You would. I didn't watch Blackwater Lane. What are you talking about?
Oh, real? Oh, okay. Bruce is in his esoteric existential trip. He refuses to review Blackwater Lane.
Picked a different color and I got a week ahead of myself. So sorry.
Okay, so we're kidding, folks. Okay, so it stars Minka Kelly, Dermot Mulroney. By the way, I think Eric Holmes and I have seen 50 Dermot Mulroney films within the last, what, 6 months, Eric? Is that true? I mean, like, how many Dermot
Probably a
Mulroney?
couple of years. Because
Once I
he was in the
saw Cow.
Blazing World. I think that was kind of the start of
Oh,
recent Dermot Mulroney movies, I think.
what were you saying, Bruce?
The Dermaticus. I can't.
The Dermaticus. Okay, and I love Maggie Grace from Lost. I love Minka Kelly from Friday Night Lights. Minka Kelly, she plays, it's described as a supernatural thriller based on the wildly successful New York Times bestselling book by B.A. Paris. So Minka Kelly, she plays a woman named Cass. And what happens one night, she drives home everything. She has a nice, it's the end of her school year. I think she's a professor, a teacher, and she go to the local area and to have a local bar, have a couple of drinks. She goes home and she calls her husband, played by Dermot Mulroney, and he tells her, whatever you do, don't take the Blackwater Lane. That's very unsafe. She still decides to take Blackwater Lane because that's a shortcut to their home. We're going to talk about their home in a second. It's very beautiful and it's very state-like and mansion-like and Downton Abbey-like. We'll get to that in a second. So as she's on Blackwater Lane, she sees a car. Well, first of all, a car almost tailgates her and passes her by. And then she sees, if I recall, a car on the side of the road. And she slows up to the car and she sees a woman slumped over on the steering wheel. And as she's actually driving up close and she's next to that car, the scene cuts to the next day. And we see Minka Kelly just trying to figure out what happened the previous night. As the movie unfolds, you actually get to that event, that inciting event, several more times in the narrative. Dermot Mulroney, again, plays her husband. Her best friend is played by Maggie Grace. Again, you guys might know Maggie Grace from her work in Lost. So the key for Cass, played by Minka Kelly, is to figure out who murdered the woman. While she's doing that, she might be seeing things like ghost apparitions of her mother in the house. She also might be seeing a fox outside her mansion and birds who are dead. Just different kind of visions. When she's having a bath, she feels someone is pushing her down. There are different things that are happening to Cass. Who knows? She might be seeing things. She might have dementia. She might have some mental situations going on with her. Or is she actually seeing these things? Because again, this is deemed a supernatural thriller. That is Blackwater Lane. It runs 108 minutes. Eric Holmes, you had a really good talk with Jeff Celentano. Talk aside, how was the movie for you?
I like this movie a lot. I'd kind of put this up there with Image of You, and much like Image of You, I think there's. I don't know what people think of this. I just thought it was really good. It's had some supernatural elements, but then there's like, is it or is the character being gaslit? That's kind of what I was weighing as I was watching it, and the ending kind of rides the line of ridiculous, clever. I think it leans more towards clever, but different horses and courses and all that.
Right.
I don't know about you, Greg. I thought this movie looked fantastic. Like the cinematography, like there was like certain like wonders and moves. Like this thing was absolutely gorgeous to look at.
Friggin' house. It's not a house. It's literally a historical. I don't even know what is it called? A manor? It's just so big and it's out there in the middle of sort of nowhere. It looks like something from a period drama. It's a gorgeous looking location. And the surrounding area, I think it's set in England, right, Eric? So it's just a beautiful looking movie, period. So
yeah. I don't know what more to say about like plot wise, probably the less the better. But this is also like much like Image of You. Like after I watched this, I haven't got to the book yet, but this is definitely one I want to read the book and then kind of go back and watch the movie again and kind of compare and contrast the two, see what they kept, see what they changed, that sort of thing. But yeah, this is another banger from the Dermot Mulroney Renaissance.
And look, I really liked everything about this movie. I do have a couple of nitpicks though. Okay. It's 108 minutes. I feel it could have been 90 to 95 minutes. There's just a lot of stuff that is thrown into this pot boiler thriller, which is, I know that's part of the genre, but yeah, I think I'm not going to say it wore out its welcome, but that's a lot of minutes. I just wish it was cut down a little bit more. The final act it was fine with me, but I just really loved all of that lead up to figure out, is Cass seeing these things? Is Cass being gaslit? Is it a supernatural occurrence? I really love the mystery behind Blackwater Lane. And that's why, for most part, I definitely recommend Blackwater Lane. Eric, your rating on Blackwater Lane and your final thoughts.
I think I will go 3.5. But again, this could probably go up to a 4 on a rewatch, I think.
Yeah. Blackwater Lane for me, 3.5, right down the middle. Solid thriller. Worth watching. I don't know, Eric, you might agree with me on this. For me, I'm in the bag when it comes to mystery thrillers, supernatural mystery thrillers like this. So I'm gonna have my mom watch this later on tonight. So
I would say if you watched Image of You and that was like one of your movies, definitely check this out. And maybe vice versa. Like if you haven't seen Image of You and you watch this and you dig this one, maybe I think they would just make good double features just in general.
This is CinemAddicts.